Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Soft Girl Strong Mind, where I share with you guys how I left survival mode and build emotional safety, self-trust, and capacity for more. So, I've mentioned before when I was in survival mode, I was very pessimistic, and I saw my pessimism as me just being realistic because life kept proving me right. I had all this evidence on why life was so unfair and why privileged people had it so easy and how things never worked out for me. And all this evidence became my confirmation. So whenever an inconvenience would happen, I'd be like, see, I was right. So in episode 1, I shared the book E Square by Pam Grout, which was the first book that I read that kind of helped me take my first steps out of survival mode. So in that same book, another concept that really resonated with me was she explains how our brain has literally thousands of stimulus every single second, like how bright the lights are, what's the temperature, is it cool, is it cold, what's the moisture in the atmosphere, even how our clothes feel on our skin, any little object in a room, they're all stimulus. So this is obviously a lot to focus on every single second of the day. So our brain has a filtering system that determines what enters your awareness and what simply gets ignored. So why is this filtering system important to us? Well, it also filters out conversations we have, things we see, things we hear, and it filters everything out based on what we already believe to be important, familiar, and agrees with our biases. Basically, anything outside our mental highways get filtered out. And this is what psychologists call confirmation bias. It's only paying attention to what confirms our beliefs and our thought patterns, not because we're right, but because our brain literally filters out anything that contradicts them. To give you an example, do you remember in science class when we learned about sound waves and we learned how sound waves that have the same frequency will amplify each other, but sound waves that have different frequency will cancel each other out? Or like tuning forks that only respond to matching vibrations. And this is exactly how our minds work. Our brains are constantly scanning the environment, not for everything, but for what matches our internal frequency. So that means if you think you're an unlucky person, your brain is going to literally highlight every delay, every rejection, every inconvenience. Or if you believe people are selfish, well, you're going to continue meeting selfish people and you're going to notice any inequality or inconsideration. So life isn't necessarily proving your worldview right. You're just experiencing a very selective, edited version of reality. Anything outside our mental highways can absolutely exist, but it just doesn't register to us. Not because it's not out there, but because our brain favors information that confirms our beliefs. Just how different sound frequencies still exist in a room, but the mismatch in vibrations won't allow for resonance. This way, slowly shifting your perspective changes everything because you start directing your awareness outside of your mental highway and start looking for new evidence and new possibility. Okay, next episode, we're going to dive deeper into this idea and we'll talk about how awareness and focus is literally reshaping your reality. And we'll also talk about why what you devote your attention to matters more than you think. So I'll see you guys next week.